All right, everybody, I'm doing a video on a problem all sculptors have, and that is deciding which sculptures to save and which sculptures to tear down. And this is just, it's the nature of our industry, is that we create things that are big, heavy, they take up space, and it's very expensive. These materials are expensive. The clay is expensive, the armatures, everything. We need to reuse and recycle this stuff. So it's springtime. It's a good time to think about spring cleaning, just kind of a natural part of the year. And I had several projects in my studio that I was hanging on to for months and months and months. I can give you some examples. This one was a bust I did on speculation of an interesting historical character, George Bolt, who was an American entrepreneur. There's a castle and a museum dedicated to him and his wife up in upstate New York near my father's house. And I just thought, hey, what an interesting guy. You know, I'd like to sculpt him. There was not a bust of him in this museum, and I proposed it to the museum. Some people were interested. They just couldn't get on board though, kind of a small town. Anyway, so their loss, I guess. But I yesterday cut the face off and turned the head, and I'm gonna make him into a different character, okay? So kind of a crazy thing to do things on spec. I do it. I'm sure, you know, more business savvy sculptors don't do that, but I do it, and that's the story there. So this is a big hunk of plastiline clay on a big armature. I think I can reuse some of the work I've done here if I turn it into another big man who I have in mind. So you'll probably see more of this later, but I need that clay back, you know, to do something else. This is a project I'm working on right now, which was another speculation proposal, which was rejected by one city in Maryland. Now it's being adopted by another city. I need more of this black clay, okay? I had a beautiful female figure on here. As you can see, it was not bad, right? But I've been slowly taking the head and the arms and the legs off because I need this black clay to finish this guy. You know, this clay is expensive stuff. So in an ideal world, make all your clay the same color. I've gotten into the madness of having a red clay and a green clay and a black clay and a brown clay. So that's just some more helpful advice. If you can have all your clay the same color, then you can take from any project to help with the next one. I kind of have these little buckets of different colored clays. It's just how my career has evolved. But anyway, that's the story there. So this torso, as much as I loved her, I had to let it go. I just had to let it go. And I have pictures of it. I have a video of it. It has served its purpose, right? But this, you know, a pretty beautiful female figure is not as important as this monument that could happen. So priorities, right? This is a little bust I did of my niece, and my brother's just not interested, I guess. You know, I mean, I'll hit him up one more time before I tear it down, but this will be perfect for my next child commission that I have to do. I have to do three sculptures of children that I'm being paid for. So as much as I love this study, who's gonna pay to make a mold of it, right? I mean, if somebody wants a copy, if somebody wants to pre-order a casting of this, hit me up. But otherwise, I need my brown clay back, you know? I mean, look, I used it on that bust. I'm about to do, like I said, 3 more. I need my clay back. So that's just one of the hard truths of being a sculptor, is that you have to recycle. You have to recycle your materials, your pipe, your wire, your armatures, and unless you have, you know, a 100-yard warehouse, you just can't store all this stuff. And you know, the next problem is, once you make a mold of the thing, then you got to store your molds. Where are you going to put those? So in my world, my entire basement is full of rubber molds. It's a real problem. It's a real problem. So we have to come up with solutions for saving space and being smart about materials. There is a new technology which 3D scans and prints into wax. Therefore, in the future, we may not have to store as many molds. So that could be a good solution. You can also make all your pieces in terracotta and fire them. And that way you're saving cost and you're getting them out the door. Every time you sell, you're not, holding on to a mold and etc. But the downside of that is you can only make one, and that one piece might not survive the kiln. We don't know. So there are benefits and negatives to each method, and you just have to find what works for you. And it's always a balance of how much risk you're willing to take on versus reward. It does take a lot of guts to do this stuff. You're gonna have months where you don't have a paycheck come in. Sometimes you're gonna max out a credit card because you believe in a project so much. And I do this all the time. I mean, no, I don't max out my credit cards anymore. But when I was starting out, I did. That's how I built this studio, for instance. So you have to do crazy things if you want to survive as an artist and make it as an artist and begin your career. And I guess for me, the risks just get, they just get bigger, but you have more security so you can afford to do bigger things. But anyway, I just thought I'd share that spring cleaning problem. And just to wrap it up, once I start tearing, I might not want to tear this down, but once I start tearing it down, I never look back. I feel so much better. It's over, it's gone. It doesn't matter if someone cries, oh, I love that thing, It's over, it's gone. So it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind, and you just move on to the next project. There's something very liberating and cleansing about that sort of creative destruction, as they call it. Okay, hope this video helps, and take care.